the country, the activists, the civil rights, the struggling parents, the families, the teachers, the students that are realizing that a system built to divide, impoverish, and destroy us cannot stand if we do it. All right? It's kind of basic mathematics.
If you hear me, could you feel me, could you free me? Wonder if I made a difference or made a difference. But that we are the difference. We ain't got no code to decipher. Brother, I would never call you trife. You my brother, though they knife and fork our meals, then cop the silly feels. Yet it's slimy, kinda grimy, miscalculated the timing. But you can't plagiarize something in the skies and think we have no eyes to see something real as we. This is seriously who we be. See, this here is true indeed, the real deal, thoroughbred, like collard greens and cornbread. Can't recite what's never said, purpose keeps us fed. Real man, this is grand A, hope fed. But still, you are my brother, above you there's no other. Blood or something other, more like what the blood covers. Man, no matter what they say, we good over this way. This is positivity in the making, helping others to break through. Without breaking, without breaking, without breaking, without breaking.
What's going on? What's going on? What's going on, everybody? It's Thursday, so you know what that means.
It's Brother Empowerment Day.
Yeah, so if this is your first time really watching Brother Empowerment, this is not one of those bashing shows, but this is a show designed to uplift our brothers and their families, but also provide things from a different perspective. So this is our opportunity to encourage, uplift, and hope that maybe something that we discuss will leave some type of lasting and positive impression. Before we get in today's program, and then talk about it. We'll talk about it later. We'll talk about the intro later. Yeah. We're gonna talk about the intro later. But before we do that, bro, how was your week?
My week has been actually pretty good, man. The weekend was dope because my mom was in town and went to Virginia for my little cousin's birthday, and it was just a really good time to be with family and to, you know, kind of get away for a while. I like road trips and cruising with my music. It's just really therapeutic for me. So that was cool. And then I've been really doing a lot of penmanship in my journal over the past couple days, like a lot. I might need a new Levels of Parable journal in another couple days because I've been killing it. But it's definitely been helping. So other than that, you know, just working out with Keon, him torturing me, but it's been really good, man. It's shout out to Keon. It's my brother. But yeah, no, the week has been pretty good, man. Just a lot of writing, a lot of just being active mentally and physically. And then there's, you know, of course, a lot of fellowshipping with the fam, man. So what about you, bro?
Man, this week, and just like every other week, has just really been amazing. It's a little anxious.
Mm-hmm.
I've been a little anxious just because you can't control the great things that are happening, but at the same time, it's still overwhelming, but it's overwhelming in a good way because we're making such positive impacts. Yeah. I had an opportunity to speak again at Benedict College tonight before coming on, and that was just amazing. And then just some of the outpour responses and things like that, man, it really just got me in a great place. I'm excited. We're going to start doing some renovations around the house, you know, just to get finally to do some of those upkeeps or updates that we wanted to make when we first purchased the home.
Yeah.
So I'm just in a good place.
Yeah.
But some days it does get a little stressful. Like living in purpose and living on purpose can sometimes seem overwhelming because you're not in control.
Yeah.
And it's just a beautiful thing, man.
Yeah.
So I'm actually excited because we got a special guest.
Yes, we do. What's going on?
Hey, special guest.
What's up?
What's up?
Okay. Before our special guest truly introduces herself, it's a few things we definitely want you guys to make sure that you are just really aware of. If you look in the announcement section, we want to make sure that you are well informed that there are other presidential candidates. And so we have all of their names listed. And so we just encourage you, because Love is a Parable is a 501c3. We're a nonprofit organization, and we do not have a political affiliation, but we do have a right to empower you about voter education, and we just want to make sure that you are well informed of the different types of presidential candidates that are available.
You have options.
So, special guest.
Yeah.
Are you going to tell the people who you is, who you be, where you from?
Sure. What's up, everyone? Thank you for having me, brothers. Love both of y'all super maxi much. I am Tashia, life survivor Cromwell, domestic violence survivor turned advocate, and superwoman for every single one who is thriving and moving forward in abuse. So thank you so much for having me. Let's get into it.
Well, for those who don't know that October is Domestic Violence Awareness Month, right? Mm-hmm. And Tashia talked about being a survivor. So I got her information down there, so you can check her out at loveisagift.com. Mm-hmm. But I wanted to give you an opportunity, to share your story. And I know sometimes, it can get, because of the emotional toll. So however it works for you, just in a nice way, you don't have to be long, just a short way to just tell them a little bit about what you have persevered through.
Okay, well, thank you for that. Well, my story is very different. And I've learned that over the course of years, there were so many different levels of abuse that I was enduring. Mainly for me, I've encountered my abuser in two different forms and two different stages. Oddly enough, it started with one man, but then it trickled into relationship after relationship. And it's funny because a lot of survivors are always like, well, how did I get here again? And it's kind of simple to get there again, especially when you don't know the signs, when you really can't pinpoint exactly what's happening, especially with emotional abuse. That emotional abuse is something severe. And so with my first marriage, he was my first abuser. His was very verbal, very emotional. He was great with his tongue. And they say that your tongue is your sword. But if you come from a lifestyle of abuse, verbal abuse, physical abuse, and then you meet that person you think you're in love with, and they begin to do that very thing to you, the only thing you can say is, I'm used to it. I'm used to it because I'm used to getting it from a parent or a sibling or even a friend. And so I couldn't really identify that this person was actually abusing me, because every time he would abuse me, I got a new gift. And I'm talking big, lavish gifts. Or every time he would cut me down with his words, the words "I love you" would follow that. And so he was definitely moonlighting me. I didn't know what moonlighting was. I didn't know what any of this was, because I grew up in a loud household. And I didn't come from the holding. I didn't come from the, oh, you're great or you're beautiful. So I couldn't, again, identify with what was going on. It literally took me having to go to a family trip to Key West, and this man beat me until I laid on the floor. Our child at the time, we only had our middle daughter. She was in another room with someone. And I remember just kind of laying there. And this story I tell, and even now me speaking about it, it brings about these emotions, because that voice, and I just want to stick a pin right here and tell everyone, that voice, that subconscious that speaks to you, that was put there to save your life. And you better learn how to listen to that voice, because that voice that was placed there by whatever you call it, God or Christian or whatever it is that you call that voice is real. And I remember laying on that floor, and that voice spoke to me and said, if you get up, you will live to tell the greatest story of survival ever told. I didn't even know what that looked like. I didn't know what that sounded like. He was the breadwinner, right? I'm just a stay-at-home mom raising our kids. I didn't know anything about self, because I was so wrapped up into him, so wrapped up into my family. I remember getting up, looking at myself in the mirror, and when you hit someone with your knuckles, I literally had 3 pinholes in my forehead from this man who told me he loved me. The same voice who told me he loved me was the same voice that called me bitch. The same voice who told me I was beautiful was the same voice that told me that no man is ever going to look at me. The same voice that told me he loved me was the same voice who said, I hate you. Why don't you die? And I looked myself in the mirror, and that man had ripped hair from the front of my head, the pinholes from his knuckles hitting me, the woman that he loved, the woman he praised every day, lumps, black eye, busted lip. I looked at myself in the mirror that day. And that's the day that I grew a cape on my back. And I said, I'm not doing this anymore. I didn't even leave them, but I went, he was asleep, and I did attack him in his sleep. Once doing that, I entered into a different level of abuse. Now, my bio is on my website, and I tell you that I quickly went from prey to predator. And that's why my story is different. Because when I fought him back in that hotel room, that was his opportunity to make me stick around 4 more years, because he said, look at you. You're not an abused victim. Look how you fight me back. See, look at you hitting me back. Oh, see, look at you calling me names back. So my mind was, oh, well, maybe I'm not being abused because I'm fighting back. But that's the emotional noose around the neck, because then I'm sticking my chest out and I'm like, oh, I'm fighting him back. Oh, when he called me a name, I'm calling him a name back. But then I'm losing self, and I'm losing who I was predestined to be. And I'm getting depressed, and I got to 92 pounds. 92 pounds. And I'm talking, if you see me before, you see I'm a little shapely. I had nothing. My collarbone protruded from my chest. I had nothing. My teeth stuck out from my face. And I have that photo. I took a photo in my kitchen from that time ago. And every now and then I look at that photo to remind me of where I never, ever want to be again. So the signs of abuse, a person may not even know that they're in it, especially if it's happening emotionally. But for the ones that are there physically, that you can see the scars, right? Because everyone worries about the scars that they can see, the black eye, the busted lip, the broken arms. But those scars heal. But those internal scars, they never go away. They never go away. And I still deal with that sometimes today. So when you see me looking extra fly, like being extra, as Jay like to call me extra, is because something that man said to me years ago has penetrated, has crept in my mind for that day, where he called me ugly and no one was going to want me. So when that happens to me, it's still a fight. I have to jazz it up extra hard. You feel me? Extra hard.
I thank you for sharing that story. Sure. If anyone has, been in contact with Tashia, what is that? Who eating? Is the dog? Look at it. You heard that? Okay.
Something like crunching a pan.
So it's crunchy. It's mad crunchy, B.
So anybody who's Tashia, you know that she's not your average victim type mentality type person. Mm-hmm. She is one that does and has persevered through a lot of things. Who is eating?
I don't know if that's feedback on her end or what.
Let's see. Okay. Now it's gone. So anyone who knows Tashia knows that she is a fighter, mm-hmm. and knows that she fights strategically, but she used a lot of the things that has happened to her as a moment of strength. Mm-hmm. So sometimes when we look at things that we've been through, we allow it to label us and define us. And Tashia has done a great job at not allowing the circumstances and the situations that she's been through define her, but she allowed them to find new ways to empower not only herself, but others. So she started an organization, Impact 360, and she also has Love is a Gift. And I would encourage you to go to loveisagift.com and really hear her story, connect with her bio, and you never know, because it might be, because she also provides a safe space. It could be a safe space for someone that truly needs it. Tashia also came into our lives, 2 years ago? I can't even tell you. Sometime, but she's also a certified love advocate as well. So she went through the program. And so being that it is a reflective thinking approach to the program, it was a lot of revisitation that she had to encounter, that she no longer no longer has to contend with the same way. She learned new ways, and like she said, every day she's learning. But we went through that journey together. We birthed things together. So guys, this is someone you definitely want to connect with. Tashia, I'm gonna give you a moment to speak, but we didn't even talk about all the guests we got on, because we went into that. Tashia, thank you for sharing that. But we want to recognize the people we got with us.
Yeah, so we have, I'm just going to speak on people that I can see. So we have Rashia. Hey, Rashia.
Hey.
Of course, we got Ricky. Ricky is on. What's up, Ricky? So we have Michelle. Hey, what's up, Michelle? Who else? We have Charles. What's up, Charles?
Hey, Charles.
Adrian is on. What's up, Adrian?
Hey, Adrian.
We got Rick Owen. What's up, Rick?
How you doing, Rick?
And then we got Joy is on. What's up, Joy?
Hey, Miss Joy.
And she said, that's me crunching, y'all. My bad. But we know that's not the case.
And Brandy Lee said, thank you so much for sharing your story.
Yeah.
And then we got Sean Baysall. He said, man, that was funny. Sorry, I needed that, but I don't know what laugh we talking about.
I think it was the crunch.
Oh, yeah. I was like, somebody crunching.
Yeah.
Crunching like a mug. Yep.
Tamara's on too.
Oh, and then Michelle said that she has to deal with that as well. Some days are much, much worse than others. So thank you for sharing your story and showing people how to persevere. Sean says, sometimes you have to let the wind at your back carry you and trust you are pointed in the right direction. And Sean also said, I'm amazing. So glad that I can make it tonight. Yeah. He's viewing from YouTube land. Mm-hmm. So I also want to tell you guys that I'm going to retire from Brother Empowerment to pursue my rapping career. I am now J Rapper, J Bizzle, J the Ripper. So we will be looking for a new host, because I now am pursuing my music career. I don't have time for this anymore.
Yeah. So
any last words?
I guess we're going to be having auditions like TLC.
Now you know what this one he
did that. Actually.
You better make sure you know how to dance. You got to know how to dance and rap. Okay. Okay, but no, all jokes aside, we got to get on to some topics that are happening. And guys, if you have any questions about Tashia and her organization, don't be afraid to put them in the comments, and so we can keep that going as well. So the big thing we got to talk about is Ice Cube. Okay. So in July, Ice Cube, he revealed a 13-part plan, and he called it a contract with Black America. It included points such as police and prison reform and interest in free loans and ownership and home ownership. He petitioned or pitched this idea to both the Democratic Party and the Republican Party. The Democratic Party, according to Ice Cube, told them that we'll wait till after the election year, wait till after the election. And whereas the Republican Party said, well, we will start on this now. Mm-hmm. He partnered with the Trump administration, and it's actually called the Trump's Platinum Plan, where it's aimed to increase access to capital in Black communities by almost 500 billion by creating 500,000 Black-owned businesses and 3 million new jobs for the Black community, plus strengthening immigration and policing policies. Okay, so the fact that it came to headline, I saw one headline. He went from NWA to MAGA. The list goes on and on. So there are some mixed emotions about Ice Cube making this decision. So who wants to jump on it first? I know Tashia, if you jump on it, remember kids watching, you can't be cursing.
Word.
So look, she muted still, so this is good. You want to go?
I think she muted herself.
Right. So this is good. You want to go?
All right. So
she was crunchy.
All right. So I guess I'll tackle it first. So with anything that is a plan or any kind of anything when it comes to, especially when it comes to politics, you know, anybody, I don't say anybody, but putting something out there and proposing it and having a meeting and getting feedback and actually it being put into place and acted on and things actually moving and working are two different things, two different processes. And so I read a lot of different perspectives on the actual topic itself. Mm-hmm. And, you know, when I actually read, I didn't read the whole 13, but I read quite a bit of the contract with Black America. I was reading all it through my phone, so I saw it this morning. So I was reading it. And so when it comes to, especially when it comes to things like demanding things from politicians and this and that, I mean, politics is and I'm not going to get too far into it because we're not a political organization, but I will say that politics is a arena of influence, money, and power. And so
first you get the money, I'm sorry.
So it's that. And so you can come with, all I can say is, you know, you can come with all the plans, things you like and say that such and such looked at it and added to it and this and that until something gets done and gets moving. Me personally, I'm just kind of in the back, just waiting to see. And as far as people's opinion on Ice Cube himself and what he was doing, I think anyone who has followed Ice Cube throughout his career and such knows that Ice Cube really, above anything else, or in my opinion, Ice Cube is about business more than anything else. You know, you can say that he's an activist and he's this and that. Like, Ice Cube to me has always been about business and some money. So, yeah, I mean, that's just my take on it. I mean, he put a proposal for it. The fact that he went to the Trump administration, for some people, the Republican side of things is, I mean, you know, he's a businessman, so he's gonna go, and I guess wherever he can get things done business-wise, whether that is right or wrong is a matter of perspective. You know, for me, when it comes to politics, people can say all they want. I'm always looking for what happens at the end. That's really all I can say.
Yeah. At the end of the day, regardless of who sits in that seat, they're still our president of these United States of America. And I think that that's the part that we confuse with anything. Because I'm telling you, without a shadow of a doubt, if the Trump administration calls love is a parable, and they give us a stipend to teach love and to teach unity, do you think that Jay is not going to take that money? Yep, with a T. We're going to take that money and we're going to empower it, because at the end of the day, too, that is our president, whether we like it or not. You can say that's your president, whatever. He sits in that Oval Office, so he is the president of the United States. So I understand that. The other thing is, if you look at Ice Cube's track record, he has consistently did whatever in the world he wanted to do. Mm-hmm. He has always spoke out against injustices. He has always went against the grain when it comes to anything. But he also has been very successful in working strategically. Mm-hmm. He transformed who he was before our eyes. He went from NWA to Are We There Yet? Come on now. He brought us things like Barbershop, but at the same time, being faithful to his wife of 20 plus something years. Mm-hmm. And it's amazing to me how we will put a moral compass that some of us seem to be waveringly committed to over someone else. And he truly didn't do anything no different than what Jay-Z did. When Jay-Z partnered with the NFL, what we said, give him a chance, give him a try. He gonna go in there and make difference and make change. Why are we just so fickle with how we want to exercise it? If you don't like the man, you don't like the man. But you can't deny facts. I'm more facts driven. Until Ice Cube is inconsistent, I'll say something. But if he consistently do what he said, and he said I went to both, and one said they'll wait till after the election, and the other one said we'll move now, I can't get mad at him, because you also got to realize the culture right now is trying to work with more people of diversity. So you guys can make it hard, but right now, everybody is listening to any minority right now. That's why you see so many DEI type of trainings, type of positions. All of those things are available for a reason, because of the heightened sense of awareness. This is the agitated change that was needed. Yep, I said agitated on purpose. Change that was needed. And now we're seeing the results of that happening globally. I say, you don't know, give anybody a chance. And I can't get mad at no man that's trying to make things better.
And also, I'd like to say that neither side has come out and said anything about what he said. So again, we only get an Ice Cube side.
Well, it started with a shout out from the Trump administration.
Oh, I did see that.
Yeah,
I did see that part. But outside of that, like the Democrats haven't come out and said anything as far as I know. And then, so again, that
was Ice Cube's point.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, they haven't said anything. So, you know what I mean? So, yeah, all I'm gonna say is, again, people can say they pushed this, or they went to somebody and had a meeting, and we know, let's not forget, a bunch of celebrities have met with Donald Trump. Steve Harvey, Kanye West, so
you didn't name any that they like, though.
Okay.
They be mistreated.
So, I mean, a bunch of people have met with him, and I'm not saying whether his plan and meeting with both sides and meeting with politicians in general is right or wrong. All I'm saying is that in politics, money and influence, and therefore power, is really what gets things moving.
Yeah.
So, if he went to meet with people, okay. But I'm concerned about is what comes out of it, especially if he's talking about doing it for the Black community. That's what I'm concerned about.
To be honest, I'm not even concerned about that. I'm concerned about, at this moment, keeping my hand to the plow, is like the old folks say. I can only do what I can do to impact the community.
Right.
So whatever he does over there, we have more collective power than what he has. Like, our subscription to certain thoughts and ideologies drive home that point.
Yeah.
What I encourage us to continue to do is just work with the methods that work. Being frustrated or casting judgment before even knowing anything is not really happening. So work with the plans that work. And it's just like we have the same vigor about this situation. I hope that we call out those people who are really damaging our community every day. Like, there are some people who are doing workshops that are really complicating the thing. There are some people who are speaking against effective things that are working in our local community. So I would rather us build a brigade against the injustices that we can impact versus a projection or an assumption or an assumptive type action that we don't even know at this point of when it would be implemented.
Yeah.
So I don't think I can read. Oh, we can. Marie said, I think Ice Cube is for the Black community. I'm sure he is trying to help in regards to if Trump win. Considering it is a high possibility that he will, why not get something for those of us that could benefit? I just think he is trying to get ahead of the curve. I don't think he is betraying Blacks. Whether his proposal get acknowledgement from the president for approval or not, at least the people will know where we stand. Sean Bay said CNN blacklisted him, canceled him from something he was supposed to do.
Okay.
Q put out a plan. They implemented some of it in their plan. Simply put, Cube isn't wrong. Now, that came from Superman.
Yeah, what's up, Kerwin?
You know he'll fly somewhere in a minute.
Yeah, he was just on TV today. Shout out Kerwin.
He just flew. Yep.
Freedom fighter himself.
Yeah. So that's that. Tashia, you got anything you want to add? You muted.
Unmute yourself.
You muted.
Because I don't know what that crack popping stuff is going on. But no, I agree. I think that anytime that we have an opportunity, just like you said, you know, business-wise for the Black community, I don't care if it's Republican or a Democrat. I don't care who it is. I just think that it's time that the minority people, it's time for us to rise. I don't care what or who is coming through. It's just time to go. That's just it.
Okay. So I guess that's that. Look, Mama, come on. Hey, Mom.
Hey, Mama. Ooh, that soda came again.
Yep, just went on the music. We'll let you on when it's time. Okay. So children that are abandoned by one parent are usually abandoned by the entire side of the family, but we don't talk about that. No matter what you say, we good over this way. I'm sorry. I'm a rapper now, y'all.
So I'm going to say this. So being that I guess I kind of have a little bit of experience with that. So I was raised by the dad that I call dad is not my biological father. I, did not meet my biological father until a couple of years ago. And so that being said, I really didn't have any contact with that side of my family until several years ago as well, via social media. Nobody really, and I had to, actually stumbled upon some of them actually. So it wasn't really like they came and sought me out. So I will say that there may, I can't speak for everyone. I'll speak for me. Like, my biological father saw fit to not really have contact with me for 20 or almost 30, well, 30 something years at this point. And, that side of the family just said, okay, I don't know if I won't say they abandoned me because I won't put that on them. I don't particularly know what their mindset was, but they didn't do any reaching out or anything like that. I will say that. So I think there can be and is some truth to that, and it's ironic that when I bridged the gap myself with my biological father, then more of that side of my family, our family, came into the fold. But that wasn't until they were notified that we had a meeting. They started seeing pictures and stuff.
I have old mixed, complicated type thing. But before I talk about my stuff, let me get here. Hi everyone. Oh, Marie Emily is Felicia Bagley.
Oh, hey.
Hey, I couldn't see your picture down there. She said, I'm not abandoned by her dad, but abandoned by his side of the family. That's even more confusing to me. And Ricky said, I was abandoned by a parent, but had close relationship with that side of the family. My grandfather and my aunts and uncles were amazing on that side. Mm-hmm. Well, the thing is, my dad was a dope dad until he divorced my mom. And then he was like, I divorced all y'all.
Yeah.
And so he went from being a great dad to a horrible father. And so it's so interesting. I will say this about families. Isn't it amazing that we conveniently mind our business at the inappropriate times?
Yeah.
Like when it's a child being mistreated, that's none of your business. Mm-hmm. Right? But as soon as it works is something to benefit you, then all of a sudden you feel that it's not right and you don't mean to jump in. If you don't mean to jump in, don't.
Yeah.
If you don't mean to, mind your business. Because what happened for me is when my dad was up and well, taking care of everybody else and not really taking care of me and my mom working three jobs, and she couldn't even be home with her kids to know what they were going on and what they had going on, but she was doing the best that she could. Yeah. While my mom was working three jobs to get the basic needs for us, he was living over there with his sisters and stuff, buying them ATVs and things like that. So, it's amazing to me that nobody said, instead of buying these children $3,000 and $5,000 toys, why don't you give that money to your son or give that money to your ex-wife. Nobody said anything. But the day that he had a stroke, family I ain't know I had called and was like, your daddy needs you. And I was like, no, he needs y'all. Because I'm a daddy now. These people need me. But he needs y'all right now. Y'all gotta pay for that. That's your daddy. That's wrong. I'm keeping the relationship consistent. However it was before the stroke is how it's gonna be after the stroke. And so I deal with every day getting random phone calls. Your daddy needs you. No, he needs y'all. Because these people need me. And so I deal with the inconvenience of like, just mind your same business that you was minding when my mama had to do what she had to do to take care of us. Mind that same business that my brother had to literally go in the military to help my mama take care of me and my older brother. So we got to figure out when we gonna mind each other business or not. It'd be too much. Y'all funny. Look at mama talking about preach.
Yeah.
You know what, mama? You petty.
Yeah.
That's a petty mama of mine. Miss Joy said, father abandoned me, but my grandmother was always there. And now that my grandmother has passed, her sisters and other family are still there. My dad was an awesome father until he got married. Now he doesn't speak to me because I exist. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, but I will tell you guys that guess what? The world, the universe, the energies, love has a way of providing every need. Because when my dad wasn't there, man, I got two dads that I can call on. You hear me? I got two dads that I can call on to help me with anything. I got a whole bunch of bonus moms. I got a whole village. I got so many siblings because when things happen, you know the proverbial statement, they tried to bury us, but they didn't know we were seeds. You are legitimately a seed. Every time they smash you, every time they try to oppress you, that becomes seeds for something else to produce. And I promise you, things produce every single day. So when I look back over my life and all the things that I have been through, all I can do is count the blessings and count the great things that have happened to me. So the best thing that my dad could have did is walk out of my life because he gave me the perfect example of what not to do for my children, what not to be for my children. So it was a beautiful thing. Now, everybody, for a few cousins, like I got a cousin Kenya. My cousin Kenya gonna always look out for me on my dad's side. I love cousin Kenya. She gonna always be there. My cousin Tuk, they gonna always be there. You know what I mean? But everybody else, they can mind their same old business. But my cousins, they gonna come because they were consistent at the same time. You know what I mean? Adrian said, I never resented my dad or his family for not being around until I witnessed how great of a dad my husband was. Wow. Is. Yes. I'm sorry.
And I will that is definitely unfortunate, Adrian. And I will capitalize say that my man Keon, just like my brother Jay, is an excellent father. And I say that just from watching him. I'm not even around him a lot, but I see how he, how he nurtures and interacts and really just takes care, like he's supposed to, of their kids.
My children say I need an improvement plan. My kids done put me on a PPE, y'all. I'm just trying to let y'all know. Them kids, I'll get no respect. They talking about, let me see. I ain't upset anymore. He's missing out on all this. Now he is missing out on some awesomeness because that you are.
Yep. Facts, truths,
espadá. Yep. And some people are in your life for a reason. You sound like somebody old grandma. Some people in your life for a reason. A season, family included. Yes, that is very true. And guess what the thing about seasons that people don't teach? Seasons come back every year. So there are some people that are coming into your life for certain seasons, and that's the only time that they come. You know what I mean? And then there are some people who are seasonal, like you have seasonal allergies, so they go with you through every season. So pick sometimes and just knowing, allowing people to be what they are in your life can save you a lot of misery and a lot of grief because you'll thank them when they flutter back in. You're like, oh, this that time of the year. I know what that means. So what about
we gotta give Shia her chance to.
Oh, Shia, you ready? You ready? You ready to Rice Krispies? Snap, crackle, pop.
It just keeps crackling. I don't know what's going on. But shut up, Cordell, with all that hair. But listen.
Look at this. Mama talking about most are a blessing or a lesson. Look, there you go now. There you go. Come on, Rice.
I just wanted to say my auntie died probably like 3 weeks ago on my dad's side. So my father's from St. Elizabeth, Jamaica. I hadn't seen my dad since I was maybe about 20. We picked right back up with all of my relatives on my dad's side, just from the last time I saw those people. It was the strangest reconnection. Since then, like I said, 17. I'm 45. I had not seen their faces. 3 weeks ago, all of us was in the same place, the Pawleys Island, South Carolina. It was like looking at a mirror, looking at myself in the mirror, all these people, and my father with his new wife, and then, you know, the children, his children. I never met his children with his wife. That was the most awkward thing. So I'm talking, and my uncle Wynn, who's a huge fan of mine, again, we just picked right back up from then 17 in Jamaica, just like nothing. But my father watched me. My interaction with him was very awkward. I had to pull his coat, and I said, "It's weird looking at you, huh?" And I said, "You know, you missed out. You missed out on a whole lot, Dad." Now, the odd part about that is we've always maintained telephone. We've always maintained telephone. But, you know, I was stubborn. I was going through my things. I resented him because I feel like he should have been the dad that protected me. You understand? And then there was a lot of, you know, you wasn't there. And in my culture, it's the thing, you don't talk about it. And if you do talk about it, you better talk about how you're hurting through respect. And I couldn't express to him where I feel like he abandoned me, even though, again, we maintained telephone. It's like, was I not good enough for you to catch a flight, to drive, or send me a flight, or to allow me to come to your estate to be with? They're still my siblings. You know what I mean? So now I have a sister who's following me on Instagram, who is a Fenty model for Rihanna. And I'm like, I don't even know what to say to her. It's the weirdest thing. So that
Well, over here, let us talk to her. We'll figure it out.
Yeah. But it is just, it's a weird thing. The balance, I think the balance of it should be there, but I think it builds so much character because I'm dope. And I always tell them, I don't care. I'm dope, Dad.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Yeah. And let's talk about that a little bit. Okay, little Rice Krispies. So if we talk about that a little bit, guys, natural emotions are real. It is natural for a child to long for their parents. Mm-hmm. It is natural. Nothing is wrong with longing for your parents, right? It is natural to have or desire a sense of belonging, a sense of acceptance, right? But there's also things known as free will and choices. Mm-hmm. And we have to learn that sometimes people make choices and decisions that have nothing to do with us. Yes, they should have kind of considered us, but at the same time, that is a gift if they do consider it. Being a parent is very much a choice. It took the day that my daughter was born to understand if my daddy didn't want to be a daddy, I needed to respect that. And I'm okay with that because I understand it, because I chose to be a father. I chose to be a husband. I know we have moral compasses like, how can you bring somebody in and don't want to do anything for them and all that? I get it. I really do. But at the same time, it's a choice. We choose to take care of our family. We choose to be there for our friends. We choose to go to work. We choose to fight for the things that we are passionate about. Just like we choose to carry the burden of people's poor decisions. You are not your mother or your father's mistake. Mm-hmm. You are not the burden or the regret of somebody else's shame. You have the potential to be endless. There is nothing you can't do. So stop carrying the weight of other people and respect it. I encourage you to give people their weight back. Because yes, they are missing out. They're doing more than missing out because they're missing the experience of you. Not just rearing you, not just being in your presence. You come with a whole experience. And that's a burden that you don't have to carry, because in your greatness, there are people sitting there waiting to love on you. See, there's a difference in not having anybody there for you and not having the people you want to be there for you. Because there are people that are rooting for you. There are people that really want you to succeed, and I understand it. But you got to shift your focus. Look to your cheerleaders. Look to your coach. Look to your teammates. Them ones are egging you on. Don't look to an opponent. Because their job is to be just that, an opponent. And sometimes they do come as false support. Sometimes they come as broken family members. Sometimes they come as rejection, abuse, neglect, abandonment, shame, misery, frustration. If you got to fight for somebody to be in your life, you need to fight twice as hard for them not to be there. I don't want nobody that don't want, and I got to prove to you every single day that I'm worthy to be accepted by you. Yeah. I'm not a peasant. Word. I am royalty. Word. I know the throne that I sit on in the kingdom that I'm assigned to, and I ain't got no time to be playing around like I'm a buzzard when I'm an eagle. Right. I soar and I fly above my standards. And if this is a lowered standard where my back goes too low, it's too low for me to even look at. Mm-hmm. But I lift my head up and I go where I need to go, and I take flight because I soar above all of that. And I encourage you to let go of the weight that other people have allowed you to carry. You're not a bag lady or a bag man or a concierge service or an elevator hop. Get them people back all their trash and say, keep that. Okay? Signed, sealed, and delivered. No return. All right? Lita said, you dope, Rice Krispies.
She right.
Adrian said, and it's going to be a gift if I don't allow him to go to a nurse. You know what?
Petty rag.
I just jumped in and want to cry. What
Hey, Tara, hey, sis.
Let me see. Get things straight. All right, fam. Let me see. Okay, we do got time for some more.
I think like two more. Like, yeah. Maybe
okay. Once you hit this one, bro. The attack on the Black mother in our community, even though we are pillars of the community.
I know that was the good sister Marcella who put that one there. She happens to be a Black mother. So I'll say this, and I'm not. It actually goes to the Black women and as well as mother, but I'll stay on topic as well. So just in the community, there's a lot of, when it comes to Black women, especially Black mothers, damn if you do, damn if you don't. If you do the best, if you're doing the best you can, and you say, you have legitimate experiences and complaints about certain things that have to do with men in the community, there's people in the community, you get attacked for that. If you're doing all right, you like, I'm maintaining, I don't really need anybody, I'm doing this and that, you get attacked for that. So, and it really boils down to, there's just unfair treatment that we talked about this before. There's unfair treatment of Black women in the community just in general. And that also includes Black mothers, so because there are a great many of those women are mothers. So it goes to that too. It's just, there is so much criticism and just vitriol spewed at Black women and Black mothers in the community, no matter what they do. Black women or Black mothers are ostracized in the community for almost everything on both sides of it, whether they're doing this or they're not doing that, whether they think this or they don't think that, whether they have this, they don't have that. And it's just really it's just unfair, especially because, and there are some brothers who may not like that I'm gonna say this, but whatever. The bar for in some ways, the bar for fatherhood for Black men in the community is so low that we have brothers who expect to be praised for the simplest of things. Oh man, like I saw a post not too long ago where a brother had bought a whole bunch of diapers and said, yeah, I buy diapers for my kids. So he said baby mom, but I don't like that term. I'm gonna say child's mother. So my child's mother never has to worry about this. I'm dad of the year. And there are a great many people, a lot of which who were Black mothers, Black women, who said that why should you get paid for something you have to do? That's your child. And that is something that is an unfair balance in the community. And I'm not saying it's all on brothers, but I'm just saying the bar is low, so low in some ways that brothers get praised for doing the simplest of things, which should be mandatory at minimum. And there we have Black mothers who get ostracized for doing the most or the most extraordinary job as if it's something they're supposed to do on a regular basis. It's not balanced, and it is unfair. And that's one thing in the community that needs to be righted, because that creates an imbalance at the foundational level. Like there are brothers who grew up seeing their mother struggle and do the most. And some of us think that that's how it's supposed to be. So they look for a woman or a mate who is going to labor for them. I mean, labor emotionally, physically, labor for them. And that is not how it's supposed to be. There's supposed to be a balance and a complementary approach to relationships and creating a life together and building a life. So that has a lot of ripple effects, that imbalance itself. So that's all I got.
And that was enough. I will say this: mothers, sisters, aunts, grandmothers, cousins, daughters. I apologize.
Yeah,
I apologize for the things that you have to deal with as a woman, as a female. But equally, I understand that we're all living in the responses of the type of culture or type of constructs that we have to contend with. What do you mean, Jay? I understand why Black women go so hard for Black men.
Yeah.
Because ever since we were brought over here, even in the Middle Passage, there has been a concern of the livelihood of Black men. Mm-hmm. So even before the plantation took place, there are millions of people who died during the Middle Passage that our sisters were worried about. Mm-hmm. It only got worse when they were in slavery, because if you did your job good enough, you became a buck. Mm-hmm. And they breeded you because they wanted more of you. But if you underperformed, they would either kill you or get rid of you. So the woman had to worry about what's going to happen. Be good, but don't be too good. Keep your head down. Don't draw attention to you. And so that spills over, because a lot of people think just because something ends, the behavior doesn't. A lot of us do have PTSD by genetics.
Yeah.
A lot of us don't just have PTSD from what has happened to us, but we still have PT. We know we have TS from the things that are happening now. We are still in fear. So you have women put in this position of, I want him to succeed, but I don't want him to succeed. I want to tell him certain things, but I can't tell him certain things because I don't know where this relationship is going to go. And it puts our women in a unique place, meaning I will allow him to hit me because he's dealing with the weight of the world on his shoulder. Mm-hmm. I understand the struggle. I'm not excusing the act, but I understand the struggle of what it means to be a woman, especially a Black woman in America. And I apologize. I apologize that I don't even have the solution. I apologize that Love is a Parable isn't enough for you to say that you're going to be safe, because I know that it is in one of the most dangerous places for a Black woman to live is America, is in the top 10. And I'm sorry. I'm sorry that you are concerned about us, but at the same time concerned about your own life. I'm sorry that we don't know if you go in for a basic wellness check that they will give you a hysterectomy. I'm sorry that every time that you may have a baby that may cost you your life. I'm sorry that every time a Black woman goes in there, she has more diagnosis than her white counterparts. I'm sorry that your life is always dangling. And I'm sorry that you have to be the caregiver to a baby that you don't know will make it to full adulthood, because the same thing that is robbing you of your life will take his life. I'm sorry. But then there are those who really do treasure the Black mother.
Yeah.
They just have jacked up ways of showing it. And I'm sorry that we got to deal with it, but I can tell you one thing that is not going to work. We got to stop fighting each other.
Yeah.
We got to start having a conversation, because there are brothers who are trying to make right.
Yeah.
There are brothers who don't have the answers, but there are brothers that will clean with you, cry with you, pray with you, walk with you, talk with you, and do the same thing for your seeds. There are brothers who don't even want nothing from you sexually, don't want anything but just to help you. There are. And so we got to come to a place where we all put the boxing gloves down, because we all fighting, and sometimes innocent people are getting hit.
Yeah.
So I encourage us to just come together, because we all fight in different battles, and now it's at a place where we're fighting each other, and that's not healthy.
Yep.
And it's not helping. We got to come together, and so I'm just sorry that you have to deal with that, and I'm sorry for the things that you've been through, but there's something inside of me saying it's gonna get better. It got to get better.
Yeah.
It got to. You know, you can only go but so low. So you know the good thing about having your back on the ground? The sky's the limit. See, sometimes when you up too high, you don't realize where you came from. But when you back, you like, I can't go no further. See, when your back is on the ground, you have the advantage. Because they can't push you down no more, but you can push up. So I guarantee you, we're at a place where, guess what? There's hope. You light. You light. I'm trying to tell you, your light casts out darkness. Your light repels darkness. I'm trying to tell you.
Yeah.
A city that sits on the hill can't be hidden. Trust me.
Ooh.
Trust me.
Ooh.
So we're going to go on and stop there.
Oh, yeah, let Tisha get her.
Well, we're going to let her say her comments as she give her brother shout out, because you know she's going to start popping.
Yeah.
All right, now we're gonna let you look. We're gonna let you unmute, but unmute slowly, because it's like. So go and unmute and give your positive brother shout out.
First of all, Jay, that was amazing. I was over here trying to control what I was feeling. I felt every single word. So thank you. It's always a pleasure to receive, because every time I'm around you or speaking to you, I'm definitely receiving. So thank you for that. And thank you guys for allowing me to be on the show tonight. My positive brother shout outs as always to the two kings right here, Cordell for the J. I love you guys super maxi much. Shout out to the clerk over here at Lowe's Grocery in Clay tonight. I don't even know his name, but he was dope, because he just went over there and just started washing my rims on my core. Okay. Thank you for that impromptu, what I call a love nugget, because I received that today. And to all the Black kings that's out there thriving forward and doing the things that you were called to do, I love you so much, and there's nothing you can do about it. Thanks, guys, for having me. And I ain't even crackling popping no more. And we at the end of the segment, though.
Oh, no, you are, man. We just won't go say nothing. Okay. Oh, there you go. The grease popping. Okay, you go, bro. Hold on, let's do Tara one time. She said, my husband went to vacuum the car and decided to wash and vacuum. I lost it thinking what was going on. he thinks he blends in, but he really doesn't anyway. Go ahead, bro.
So Positive Brother shout out, of course, as I do almost always, got shout out to Brother Jay. You know, we are here every week doing this thing, and today is no different. Another week in the books, you know. So we are just, man, we just here, man. I mean, we have so many opportunities. I was telling him, well, I've told him many times at this time before this year, that's crazy that in the year of social distancing, we are making more connections than ever.
Yes.
Like, so, and we just are here doing that. And it's, you know, and I will tell y'all, just like I tell him, my brother is special, man. He is a light in the world that shines like no other, man. And I tell that anybody who has not met him, when they ask me to tell me about Jay, or, you know, when I ask me about him, I say, man, that brother's just in tune. He's gifted and he's different, man. He's different in a good way, but he's different, you know. So shout out to my brother Jay. Shout out to all the brothers, of course, that are on the live. Kerwin, Sean, who else we have? Rick, you know, Ricky, you know, got to differentiate. Oh, that's right, Terry, Rapper Jay now. Not Brother Jay, Rapper Jay now.
Jay the Ripper.
Jay the Ripper. But shout out to all you brothers. And like I've said in the past couple weeks, shout out to all the brothers who are not really just talking the talk, or really just not talking any talk at all, just actually doing in their community and being the change they want to see. They don't need to do a lot of talking. They don't need to really do a lot of grandstand. They just, let's just work. Let it speak for itself. You know, let's just build, because instead of telling people what they need to do, why not build something, you know, for them to look at or look up to? You know, instead of saying that you're a role model or something like that for the kids to look up to, build something for them to look up to. That way you don't have to say anything. They see it. Your actions speak for themselves. You don't have to do as much talking. So shout out to those brothers too. And last but not least, shout out to all the brothers who are having the tough conversations in their lives with whoever they need to have them with, to, like the brother Jay said earlier, the rapper Jay said earlier,
Jay Ripple, Jay Dizzle.
Shout out to those brothers who are having those tough conversations and giving the weight back and either mending connections or closing them off in a positive way so that they can move on and maintain their emotional and mental equilibrium, because that's a task in itself. Sometimes people are not meant to go on with you. Sometimes they're meant to stay where they're at. And we're revolving doors, but not doormats. So yeah, they may come back around, but they may not have the same seat they had before.
Come on.
Yeah. So
yeah, I definitely want to thank, you know, I got to thank you, bro. I got to thank you. Guys, I'm going to tell you this. Don't get caught up in how things look. Mm-hmm. I was molested at 11 and I didn't like any dudes. And here it is. I'm leading Brother Empowerment with my brother. And we have so many men that we're connected to. Mm-hmm. And so love heals. I was reminded this year that I started an organization on the campus 20 years ago that is still going strong. Right. I had a young man reach out to me today who's an assistant director who said, "You don't know me and I don't know you, but I teach my students about you." So when you going through something, when you going through your hell, you telling a story. You think that everything that is going around you is burning up, but you didn't know that you was a phoenix. So it consumes you and you feel like you are near death, but all of a sudden you have the regenerative power to restore and become better than you ever thought, and you take flight. They didn't know you were a phoenix, and that's the problem. They treated you like you were a raven. Mm-hmm. They treated you like you were the dark sheep, and they didn't know. This year, in January, my wife and I was contemplating filing for bankruptcy because things were so bad we were about to lose all our homes. And I was working. I'm not working, and we ain't lose nothing. Our personal, professional life was going downhill, and Love is a Parable was skyrocketing. We were trying to figure out what's going on. It was because purpose takes care of purpose. Yeah. Purpose begets purpose. Dreams beget dreams. Visions beget visions, because they start bringing people who connect. And we don't exploit nobody. We don't misuse nobody. We tell people straight up what's going on, and people come and we work with a pure heart. So I encourage you, this year has shown us that everything can be thrown at you, but you will persevere. I'm trying to tell you. Mm-hmm. So I thank the brothers who was there for us going through those tough times. Cordell was there. His uncle Marcus was there the entire time. Not trying to, didn't know how things were going to go. My brothers were there. Mm-hmm. Sometimes we didn't even know how to figure out things. Sometimes I call these men and I just cried because that's all that could come out. There is no embarrassment worse than feeling like you can't even take care of yourself, let alone these people. And then you question the very essence of your existence because you're trying to figure out, what am I doing wrong, because I'm doing everything right by the book. Mm-hmm. But if you negate your purpose, you already messed up. When I pursued purpose, it took. And so what was happening was purpose was saying you don't have to do supplement. Every time somebody tried to hurt me in this year, it was turned into some good. Mm-hmm. Continue to do good, so good, and you'll yield good. Yep. Karma works both ways. It don't just work for bad things. Mm-hmm. It works for good things. The natural and spiritual law of seed and harvest works the same way. You throw out bad seeds, you're going to yield a bad harvest. If you throw out good seeds, you're going to yield good crops. The same thing is going to happen. And I thank those brothers who were there for me. I thank Ricky, who just flooded out of nowhere, who encouraged me from day one, who figure out ways, how can I make Love is a Parable better? Mm-hmm. That's what we're dealing with. I thank Kerwin, who was there every day. He says it's a matter of time. When we met him 2 years ago, he always says it's a matter of time. It's going to pop off anytime now. When I went through the job, he was the first person to say, oh, that's good. That means you can do what you need to do. Man, people are coming out of the woodwork helping. Pursue purpose. Everything was straightened out. We ain't have to take out no loans. We ain't have to do nothing crazy. It worked itself out. Get out of it. When it started messing up, you get out of the mix and let it go through. Because sometimes it got to go through where it feel like it's even worse for it to even out. The sky's the limit, guys. If you pursue purpose, everything else will make sense. Stop trying to make sense out of everybody else's trash, because that ain't your trash. They ain't got nothing you got to worry about. But I thank every brother that was there for me. I thank Sean, who came out of nowhere. He took an implicit bias workshop, and we became very close friends. Mm-hmm. We talk every morning. And I think that I needed that. These are the things that we need. Men, we have to uplift and encourage each other. We have to tell each other that it's going to be all right. We have to hug each other. We have to tell each other that we love us, because sometimes we don't feel nobody else do. Mm-hmm. It's time to heal. So I thank every brother. And like we tell you guys, every brother empowerment, if you feel like you have no one in this world, if you feel like nobody is there for you, you just met 3 people who truly do love you and here for you. All right. We'll see you next week, guys. Love y'all.